And in other news, normalization between Saudi Arabia and Israel may still be a ways away, but that doesn't mean progress isn't already being made. A new report from Impact SE has found that Saudi Arabia has removed anti-Semitic content from its school textbooks. And so joining us now with more is Marcus Sheff, CEO of Impact SE. Thank you for joining us.
Pleasure.
So what can you tell us about this latest report? What did you find?
Well, Impact SC has been reviewing the Saudi curriculum since 2008, and this curriculum has always been particularly high profile, particularly in the United States. Following 9/11, of course, 15 of the 19 terrorists were educated in Saudi schools, and bin Laden himself, and they have been insistent, both on the Hill and the State Department, that changes need to be made in the Saudi curriculum. So over a decade, a great deal of pressure was put on Saudi Arabia. Changes were not, however, made. But in 2019, a real absolute revolution happened in Saudi education. We were able to present our 2019 report and policy recommendations to the Saudis. And Crown Prince MBZ, as he is known, Mohammed bin Salman, took up the burden of making significant changes to the textbooks, to the education in Saudi schools. And now here we are in 2023, so that's 8 semesters after reform, and almost all the anti-Semitism previously identified problematic examples regarding Jews and Christians as well in Islamic studies have been removed. Negative portrayals of Jews, all kinds of ideas of Jews as animals, as apes, as donkeys, as pigs. This has been taken out. Jews as untrustworthy. All of this is out. And with that is out material which was negative about infidels, about polytheists as well, problematic examples in relation to jihad and martyrdom. All of this has been removed. It is really incredibly significant, incredibly important. And I think now, looking at 6 million children in Saudi Arabian schools, imagine that they are getting an education which is free of the kind of hate which Saudi Arabian children were subject to before this reform, which, as I say, started in 2020.
So this is really, really positive news. I mean, can you give us maybe some concrete examples how, for example, they address Israel before and after the reform?
Well, the Israel material is not gone through the kind of evolution that the anti-Semitic material has gone through. So there is moderation in relation to the way Israel is portrayed. There is still a deal of anti-Israel material within the textbooks. But I can tell you, for example, that a whole chapter, which was highly critical of Israel in social studies, has just recently been taken out. So we're seeing real moderation there. I think also really interesting is new material which we see in the curriculum, which is highly critical of Hezbollah, of ISIS, of Al-Qaeda, of Houthi militia, of the Muslim Brotherhood, all criticized, all considered to be incendiary terrorist organizations. So I think that is very significant in and of itself.
Absolutely. I mean, very significant and a very good sign for Saudi Arabia and for, possibly future relations with Israel. I'm curious, what about other areas that you've sort of examined, like in the Palestinian Authority, whose textbooks are also rife with incitements against Jews, against Israel? Has there been any progress made on that front?
Certainly none at all in the Palestinian textbooks, which are taught across the Palestinian Authority, as you know, also in Jerusalem and in Gaza. And they are unrelenting in their radicalism. These textbooks essentially have a vision of one state, one Palestine from the river to the sea, which will be gained through jihad, through martyrdom. Young children are encouraged to sacrifice themselves physically for the Palestinian Authority. It is a school curriculum which contains anti-Semitic ideas, which contains ideas including that death is better than life. That is one of the ways that young children are encouraged to sacrifice themselves. Terrorists like al-Mughrabi is put on a pedestal 5 times in the school curriculum as a role model, particularly for young girls. Of course, she was involved in the Coastal Road Massacre, where 38 people were killed, including 13 children. It is a school curriculum which has not changed since the reform.
Absolutely. Good news on that front. Let's hope that the Palestinian Authority will also adopt some of these changes as well. Marcus Sheff, thank you so much for your insight today.
It was a pleasure.